Welcome back to the Consciousness Soldier video podcast. This is episode number 37. How are my soldiers out there doing today? We got a lot to cover on the show today, so we're going to start this one out like we always do with a little conspiracy that I believe in that you probably wouldn't expect that I believe in, okay? So last week we got into some Hotep related conspiracy. Quickly, just wanted to address this. We got some mixed feedback in the comments from some folks, so let's check those out. Let me pull the first one up. So we got Junior Boss _move, who said, Africa have the most pyramids, y'all not ready for that conversation, facts. Which, shout out Junior Boss Move, new fan of the show, obviously, is exactly what I was saying. But some other commenters had some other things to say, like, let me pull this one up. This guy Raw said, this ain't for you, bruh. Like, insinuating that I shouldn't be able to believe in this. I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree, man. I think conspiracies for everyone, and yeah, I'll leave it at that, man. So anyway, this week, the conspiracy that you wouldn't expect me to believe in is, well, it's less of a conspiracy, kind of more of a consensus, I guess, at this point, but talking about climate change, man. So, you know, scientists, the media, the elites, blah, 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 they all believe this shit. And I do too. And you probably wouldn't expect it from me, but here's the deal. Man-made climate change. Man-made climate change. I think what we're calling the Anthropocene, man, it's under siege. The carbon levels are rising, the fucking temperatures are rising, the sea levels are rising. But I guess what we don't talk about, though, is like who is the man in man-made climate change, right? Like, who's the guy that's causing all the shit to rise, right? And so I got some good news and I got some bad news. The good news is it's not a man, right? The bad news is it's a girl. It's Greta Thunberg. And I know a lot of my followers probably already know all this shit, so I'm not going to do like a deep dive today, but it's related to some stuff that we're going to get into later with like the wildfires, climate change related shit. So I just wanted to kind of, briefly touch on this. But, it's the kind of shit you'd expect. Like, her parents they got connections to Monsanto and agrotech and the boating industry. She's taking boats everywhere. And Greta herself, like, she's totally into pocket, big autism. Just a lot of like sketchy Swedish stuff too. So okay, y'all. So we're gonna get into the first segment of the show. This first image that I'm gonna show you guys is coming from my boy Dylan. Lives out in Oregon. This is a photo that he took on his, well, he didn't take it, but it was a photo that was captured on his motion detected trail camera that he had set up in his backyard a couple months back. So yeah, my buddy, he's got this camera set up in his backyard. Basically, he thought that his neighbor was taking a shit on in his backyard. So he set up his camera to kind of like see what the situation was, what the deal was. And yeah, basically just like this big pile of shit, and it just kept getting bigger. And at first, like, yeah, they called me up and we were talking about it, whatever. And like, I was like, dude, it's just like, it's gonna fertilize your grass and probably help it grow and stuff. And then it started to like kill the grass because it was just like constantly a shadow, and like the sun couldn't reach the grass and stuff. It was really fucked up. It was just like a big ass pile of shit. But anyway, he set up the camera, whatever. And yeah, it was just like, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. So anyway, a couple months ago, the wildfires came through Dylan's backyard, and he had to evacuate. It was a whole big deal. Sadly, he lost his house and all of his possessions. But the trail camera actually survived. He got the SD card and stuff. And so what I'm showing you is a fucking terrifying photo that caught on tape, on camera. So let me pull it up. So what you see here is it's basically a MAV, micro air vehicle, and it's basically like a micro drone disguised as a mosquito. Uses like this little small syringe type needle, as you can see from the photo, but it's not sucking your blood, man. It's although it looks like the victim here is bleeding, but it's actually injecting a liquid into the victim. And I'm gonna zoom in and show you guys a more detailed image. Look at you can see what the liquid is. It's labeled right on there, soy. Now, if you're a fan of the show, obviously you remember a couple months back I did a deep dive video on soy. And the sort of like agenda to feminize men across the US. So I'll put a link in the description. You can go back and check that out for like a little primer on this topic. But yeah, I had no idea that this shit was going on when I did that video. It's non-consensual, involuntary forced injections disguised as these like common, you know, bugs, man. And it ends up being like the perfect storm, right? So like I was saying, we got global warming, right? This tricks us into sort of like assuming that there's going to be an increase in mosquito population, but then there's not. But then it gives them, the government I'm talking about, an opportunity to sort of deploy these MAVs, fill men up with estrogen, and just make hardworking Americans weak, man, not able to fully live in freedom and liberty. It's fucked up, man. You know, there's this saying, I don't know who it's from, but it's hard times create strong men create good times, good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. And that's what we're currently living in, man. We got weak men, and they're trying to make us weaker, and that's what's creating the hard times. And you know, they want us weak. They want to wear us down, right? So they can control us with the fucking cell phones and TV radios and cars and AOL and all of this shit, man. All this tech surveilling you. I'm not gonna get into it, but and on to our next and final segment of the show today, which is going to be tying in this notion of control through media. Specifically here, we're going to be talking about movies, Hollywood actors, Adrenachrome, de-aging, CGI, EPAGOGIX, and how they're all related. So I put together this little diagram that I'm going to pull up here. We got some research that I've been doing into this stuff. It's sort of in the early stages, so you guys got to give me some leeway here to speculate. I haven't completely figured this one out yet, but I think you guys can help me out here. So get in the comments, let me know what you think. Try to put some of this stuff together. So what we do know here so far is that we have celebrities who are part of these ritual mass killings of children, and the goal is to harvest their blood for this youth serum that we know is called adrenachrome. Okay. Then we have de-aging CGI. We've all seen it recently. It's been in a bunch of movies. You got The Irishman. You got Star Wars. Benjamin Button. You got all these movies, and they're using the CGI that's performed by algorithms. And then we also have EPAGOGIX, which is this company. So they use neural networks and algorithms to basically predict which movies have the best possibility of a return on investment. So which scripts, which plots, which actors are going to be most successful. And this company is the reason that we have all of these Disney reboots or sequels where they make the old cartoons kind of look like 3D realistic, or they redo the Lion King and the lions like look kind of sexy. It's also the reason why you have all these similar action movies getting made where they have the same plot, where a former CIA operative who sets about tracking down his teenage daughter Kim, Grace, and her best friend Amanda, Cassidy, after the two girls are kidnapped by Albanian human traffickers while traveling in France during the visit. So the question becomes, what are they hiding? Did they run out of adrenachrome? Are they using the CGI to mask how old they now look? Or are they using it to trick us into and not knowing, a constant state of unknowing if if it's adrenochrome or if it's CGI. Oh no, it's not the adrenochrome, it's just CGI. Oh no, actually it is adrenochrome, CGI is not real. Who knows? CGI itself uses algorithms and neural networks, so you can see they have this similar structure to the adrenochrome molecule, right? Which also, of course, takes the shape of a rabbit, follows White Rabbit, Alice going down the rabbit hole. It's not even subliminal. It's in plain sight. It's obvious to most of us that have been following this stuff. The Matrix, Alice in Wonderland, George Carlin. I'm leaving this one up to you guys. Help me fill in the blanks. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.